to Asiatic culture, and they don't match. Therefore, they go into vagaries. There's always spookisms, mystery gods, and they always broke. And like slot machines, you got to keep putting quarters in them to make promises that they never fulfill. So you got to keep hope alive because they don't work. Then when we get frustrated and tired, we convert to something else, and the game goes on, and our babies are dying and our families are falling apart. But we're too arrogant to admit our hypocrisy and won't clean up our act and reject this whole game and start becoming scientists, which we always were, our forefathers were. And you use math, compass and a square to fix this thing. You understand? And so that license is used to maintain false doctrine, things that you don't even think it relates to, because it disconnects you from reality. It disconnects you from your right of movement, your right of travel. Therefore, Europeans can just sit back, and if you're going to go make something for your family and you don't pay him, he'll take what you think you possess right from under you and call it law. And you agree because you think it is. Because you forget that he's a foreigner. And then out of ignorance, you start talking about white people and black people. And they are really statuses. But the deal is, if you call him who he is, European, and you remember, oh, he's European. What gave him authority here in the Americas? Europe is over there. That's why they use the black and white, so it muddies the water, and you forget that they have no authority here. Except what you keep giving them under contract. And the Constitution is a contract to keep government in check. Constitutions don't give rights. Constitutions is a business contract of governmental activity under Republican form of government only, representative of the people, natural. And when they violate that Constitution, they're violating divine law. So Drawley say enforce that Constitution. He's telling you enforce divine law. But then if you don't recognize that or understand divine law, you don't necessarily recognize that that's what's being said to you. So you just look at it as a document, oh yeah, he said that and that's interesting, and you go on and don't know responsibilities of changes that you must make with your own natural person in your affairs here in order to correct the political scene relative to your family members and yourself. Now the other deal is, if you don't know how to defend your right to your energy, can you preserve it? So can a beggar nation achieve the highest spirituality? So how are we going to sit around and talk about how spiritual we are? We can't control economics. I mean, you understand how we're in violation. But we self-righteously keep on saying that we got this thing going on. And it's not exactly honest on our part. But a lot of us really cowardice because our people, you know, they have courage to be messing with each other. But when it comes to them Romans, all of a sudden they start throwing around idol gods because they're scared to say something to him. Because he's their God. He's Negro God. He ain't our God. And we're not Negro, black, and color. But we all also know that belief is not going to get us out of this thing. Knowledge will. And so we're going to have to become knowledgeable. And brother man, back to the hyphen Bay. Right, see, back to the hyphen Bay. So when you're dealing with an absolute claim of sovereignty, an absolute claim of birthright, you must be in your proper person, which is really what you were implying. And which you already know in law, that you must be in your proper person in order to have standing at law, which you already know in propria persona sui juris. So in propria persona sui juris is a law term which translates into the common law term of man, know thyself, man, be thyself. That means exactly the same thing. So Why did Noble Drew Ali establish this movement in North America? To teach these Moors to be themselves. Because if not, all the other stuff that they're trying to do don't even really count. Because it will be rendered neutral. So law must be taught for them to understand the cause and effect relationship to this whole thing. Why did he do this movement? It's not just a good idea for fun and games. It's to bring a passive people to an active state with a body of knowledge and information to make them effective in the affairs of men and in government. And gave us a divine constitution in order to show us a pattern. And if we don't apply it, guess what? You already know what colored people are. What are colored people? We're talking law now. We're not talking... Artificial. Exactly. So an artificial person is what? A corporate person. Is a corporate person inside law? No, it's an artificial entity made up on paper.
So our identification in large capital letters
is a colored person. And a license is an instrument for colored people. Oh, you see the whole deal?
So whether it's an ill or bad on it or not, it's still...
Oh, yes. So if you're living with that, you better learn to live within contract, too. I mean, so you see where we're going? So if your government is under occupation, you must understand international law to understand occupational status. Am I correct? So let's look at what the United Nations had to deal with concerning Noble Drew Ali and these Moors. It says, Mother, since you're closest, can you read this Principle 3? And this is the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child. Read this to the Moors.
Principle 3. The child shall be entitled from his birth to a name and a nationality.
Now read the cover.
A truth about your inalienable rights.
Yes.
And in parentheses it says birthright. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, and Declaration of the Rights of the Child, 1959.
Now, read the inside cover and tell me what that comes from. Which part does that come from?
Inside
it would come from what?
This is the inside cover.
Yes.
Where do you want me to go?
Declaration of the Rights of a Child. See it? Page 7. Here. Page 7.
Page 7.
Yes.
The Declaration of the Rights of a Child, 1959. The Declaration of the Rights of a Child, GA, RES 1386. Roman numeral 14. 14 UN. Gayor SUPP number 16 and 19 UN Doc A 4354 in parentheses 1959.
Now let's take a moment. And Drew Ali said, come and link yourselves back with the families of nations, didn't he? Can somebody twist that around and say it meant something different? Some people have tried, but he said what he meant. Now, what is that UN body? Is that the family of nations? Yes, it is. And what did they declare in Principle 3 that you just read? Which meant they already dealt with this issue. Read it again.
That the child shall be entitled from his birth to a name and a nationality.
All right, now, let's go again. Now, this Universal Declaration of Human Rights, right? Now, read Article 15.
Article 15, page 12. 1. That everyone has the right to a nationality. 2. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality, nor denied the right to change his nationality.
So, now, they've given you a foreign ID, haven't they?
Correct.
Uh-huh. And in the process have denied you your nationality, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the world governments have already dealt with this issue, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't every Moor be aware of that?
Yes.
So shouldn't Moors make these other Negroes out here who think they're Negroes aware of this? This is not a belief that